Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Okay. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Medianoche podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's nice outside today. This is episode 11 of the Medianoche podcast. My name is Art Morera. We're live and direct here. I got my homeboy. I would probably say you're like my best friend, really. You know, borderline like my brother. You know.
Word.
Yeah, this is my man, Kimber. What's up, Kimber?
What's up, bro? It's nice to be here.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for coming through. I know you stay busy. You're like on the other side of town too, you know. So I appreciate you coming through, and it's a pleasure to have you, man. So we can just chop it up.
Likewise.
You've been doing Jolt Radio for a while now with Ladies Love Radio.
That's true. We have our show, Ladies Love Radio, on Jolt Radio, at which you've been on. You know.
Yeah. It was tight when I was there.
It was good. You and Tress.
DJ Tress, that's right. I saw somebody with a Jolt Radio T-shirt at Publix like a couple days ago, and like I was walking by. You know, Publix has those subs. You know, I go there for the subs. You know, actually, like when I go there, I kind of have this little routine. Whenever I'm kind of like a little low on cash, but I want to get something to eat, I'll go to Publix, and I'll get the Publix sub that's on special, whichever one's a sticker. And then I'll get a gallon of that lemonade that they have.
Oh, it's flame.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then I'll get like a little thing of ground beef because I like to mix it with my dog's food. So I'll have some for later, and I'll hook him up as well. You know.
I'm partial to the what are like the tenders, like the.
Yeah, so fire.
Yeah, like just that, like so good.
It reminds me of the reason why I brought up Publix is because I saw somebody wearing the Jolt Radio shirt. And I'm walking by, and I'm like, "Hey, Jolt Radio, that's cool, man." And he looked at me like, he probably didn't even speak English. He was like, "Está bien," and he just kind of kept on with what he was up to. But it was cool. It was cool.
Probably caught him off guard. Like,
it's probably, you know, I mean, but I would imagine if he's wearing that shirt, he's either he either got it knowing that it's Jolt Radio, or maybe it was a hand me down. He has no idea what it is, you know.
Word.
But like those chicken tenders that you talking about, man, like you brought that up, and it just brought me all the way back to Ray's in Garberville.
Oh man, shout out, bro.
Shout out,
thinking
Ray's.
about that the other day. Man,
I love Ray's. You know?
They come through, bro.
When you pull into Garberville, when you pull in, like it's funny, you're here, you know, and the other people that I've had on the guests, like I talk about this place, Humboldt County in Garberville. It's like to them, it's like this wonderland. Like, what is this mystical place, you know? And like you and I have been there plenty of times to kick it with the homies, and you know I love Ray's, bro. They have the mac and cheese there. It's so good, but it's not good, and it's amazing. I love it.
Nah, it probably is good. Probably is good for you, bro.
I love it, bro.
Just can't eat too much, bro.
Yeah, too much of anything is bad. But I mean, I don't know.
That whole area is like magical.
It is, man. I
like
love
a certain something about it. When you're there, you just feel different.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's probably just the air, the altitude that when you're up there in Garberville. And one more time, I mean, I said this once before in a previous episode, but rest in peace to 420 Dave. You know, I don't know if you ever met 420 Dave.
Like probably in very close proximity.
Yeah,
but
cool guy, man.
I know you're a little bit more socialized in those circles.
Yeah, man. You know, but yeah, bro, Garberville, Humboldt County. It's just such a opposite of Miami, you know. Literally almost everything is the opposite of Miami over there, and it makes you appreciate Miami more when you're there, and vice versa when you're here thinking of Humboldt County, you know.
Yeah.
But man, like listen, before you got here, like so I, you know how when you go on YouTube and you'll look up something, and then YouTube will recommend more of the similar things to you, and the little algorithm that it has.
Yes.
Like for whatever reason, man, like, you know, every now and then I'll just to pass time while I'm doing stuff, I'll look up like a Let's Play or like a video game live broadcast, you know, or like a speed run.
Yeah.
And I looked up a Metal Gear Solid speed run for PlayStation 1, you know, and it's cool because it's so nostalgic. Like,
Yeah.
you know how like all the music, the little sound effects.
But I feel like deep down, you're telling yourself, man, if I get my hands on a PS1 or like somebody's playing it, which is like, you know, and everybody's whipping out the retro consoles.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, I know what to do. All right, I got to run into this camera, turn this corner.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I love Metal Gear Solid 1. I feel like we came up in a great time for video games. You know, did you ever have a PlayStation 1? Nah, right?
I did have a PS1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I know that you're more of an Xbox head.
Yeah. I made the switch. I didn't go PS2. I went Xbox. I never looked back. But no, I had the PS1 for sure. Because at that point, it was like PS1 or N64. And I'm like, I wanted to play like cool shit. I didn't want to be like on some kiddie games and like Metal Gear. It had like Twisted Metal.
Right.
We played a lot of.
Yeah. I think that if I had to compare, I truly think that the PlayStation 1 was like the best console of its time. You know, when you look back at all the titles, like, you know, like, man, those games were fundamental to like the molding of my young mind, you know. Final Fantasy 7, Crash Bandicoot.
Look at like all these games like Resident Evil 2. They're all getting like made over again.
Silent Hill, you know. Silent Hill 2 was, bro, that game was just, it was beautiful in a very, very dark way.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, the reason why I brought it up is because whatever. So I watched it. I went on YouTube and I put up this like Metal Gear Solid speed run, and then on the side panel of YouTube, it recommended me like this little video of like Diablo 2. Do you remember Diablo? It was a computer game. Diablo.
Yeah. No, I had friends that were really into. I know I was never like PC guy.
Yeah. I'm not really much of a PC guy either. Nowadays, at least. But I mean, what I'm talking about.
Although
like,
I do have a PC forever.
Yeah.
Never Mac.
Well, like the reason why I brought it up, man, is because like I had these two homies, right? And when I was in Barbara Goldman, right, like my homie Gyro, or Hyro, you know, and my homie Dre, and he used to play Diablo, and we would do this thing where like I'll go over to his crib and we'll bump like some old, like whatever, some hip hop of the time. He was a big fan of like acrobatic and whatever, and it's okay, Morty. Good boy. Good boy. It's a good dog. But man, we would bump like just whatever underground hip hop of the time, and then we'll play like Soul Calibur. Remember Soul Calibur? You know? And like he had Diablo 2, and like I played it. He lent me the CD, you know, and I played it on my PC, whatever. And I was just like, oh my god, I completely forgot about Diablo 2. Damn. So I'm here like, you know what, man? Like my laptop has 10 gigs of RAM. Like I have a MacBook. I'm like, let me see if it'll, you know. And bro, it does. You go to blizzard.com and there's Diablo 2 right there for $10.
There goes your life.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Like it's one of those things where you buy it just to know that you have it. You get me? Like just to know that you have it, because I'm not really gonna be wasting my time away playing Diablo, like leveling up like my paladin or something. But like just to have it there, it just feels so good. I'm like reconnecting with my, you know, with my high school days, little by little. I got Final Fantasy 7 on the iPad. Now I got Diablo on my MacBook. Like, damn, life is good, bro.
That's tight.
Yeah, man.
You probably know this, but you're talking about the PS1, that you could put like the games in like a CD player and it would have like the soundtracks to the games. Some of them.
No, I didn't know that.
This?
No.
Bro, some of the PS1 games, if you put them in a CD player, it would like play like a CD, and it would play, sometimes it would be like music from the game or like sounds from the game. Like,
what?
Yeah. So if you ever, anybody listening, if you have like old PS1 games, put them in a CD player and see what happens.
Damn, that's crazy. This makes me want to like get a CD player right now, man, and just like go on eBay and just buy a bunch of, or GameStop. I mean, I'm not really a big supporter of GameStop, but like I'll probably just go on Amazon and get like all the old classics, you know? I remember when I lost the original Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 9, my original one, and by the time that I wanted to get it again, it was already on that greatest hits, that green label to put on. Man, oh God, it's like this reissue of it. It's just, man, I wish that it's that, bro, I lost a lot of things when I was younger in my moves, you know.
Yeah.
I moved around a lot, and I just don't understand, like, how does a box get lost, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but they do. It's like a sock in the dryer.
All
Like,
the
what do you
time.
mean? You know? That happened to me a lot, man. But listen, I wanted to give a quick shout out. I know this is kind of like off topic and like mad random, but I was scrolling down Instagram, and this Instagram called Miami Masks. They were promoting this like black mask, that black stuff you put on your face to kind of like clear your pores and all that. And whatever, bro. I just, I got it, and it came in the mail today, and and I tried it out, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, it works, man. But it's weird because when you take it off and you move your skin around, when you like kind of like, you know what I'm saying, it just feels extra like just tight,
Yeah.
But I like it, man. It's tight. It's just something that I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more often, just to take care of myself, man. I'm a little bit neglectful of that for a while.
You ever put Elmer's glue on your hand as a kid and let it dry?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, I did, bro. Damn, you just brought me back too. Oh man. So anyway, so bro, for all the people that's out there that have been somewhat in the loop of my music career as it develops, y'all know that Kimber has helped me out with pretty much all my videos except for like my very very first one. I did this one freestyle to this Amsterdam instrumental, and my man John Carlo did my video for Told Through Rap. But all the other ones, all of them, man, Kimber, you've come through, bro.
Word, man. We've done a lot of stuff, and like been a lot of places doing these videos.
Yeah,
a lot of adventures.
It's crazy,
because we go
man.
way back, like super way back.
Yeah, I met you at Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. I think one of the reasons we're really good friends and like we've stayed friends for so long is like it, I don't know, it clicked like right off rip. But then like we weren't like I don't do music stuff. Like I have zero involvement pretty much. It's funny because like we do the radio show on Jolt, and like my friend hosts it. He's like the social butterfly of our crew.
Yeah.
And he, he's the one that talks to people and books most of the people. And I co-host with him along with another friend of ours. And like I co-host and I engineer the board and kind of like, kind of direct a little bit the show. Like trying to make sure everybody's on point and know what's coming up next and what's queued up and all that stuff. But like you have been like a bunch of stuff with you, like filming shows and stuff. But like me personally, I have no real like involvement in like the music scene here. So I feel like because of that, like I'm not like we're not competing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, because when you start collaborating, it's not just with here, it's just in general, like in the music world, wherever you're at, anywhere you go, like when you start to reach out to other people that's also actively involved in that little local scene or whatever, they'll help you out, but like it's almost like they have a motive as well, It's almost like human nature, like you want to thrive you want to thrive where you're involved in, and you'll help somebody else out, but at the same time, you want to make sure that it benefits you as well in some way. Whereas with you, since you're not involved in this local scene like at all, you're almost like just a good friend, You're just pretty much a good friend helping out a homie because you want to see that person win,
A word. But and that goes for just any industry or any kind of anything, really. Like you can only help out so much because like you got to worry about yourself too,
But you did that film also. I've seen it. I remember you showed me years ago. You did that one little film when you were like in high school or something.
Yeah, we always filmed. Like when I was in high school, like we always, anytime we had like a project, and it was like open format. Oh, you guys could do a presentation. You guys could do a poster. You guys could get up and talk. And it's like we're filming a movie. Like instantly, it was like we did like four or five movies. I was doing that like forever, like editing on a VHS, editing with 2 VHS players.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that film that you showed me of would you mind not only for me, I know what the film is about, but for the listeners, kind of the little synopsis of what it is.
All right, so it's like a short story. I forget who the author is, but I think it's like a pretty famous author, and I believe it's called like Lamb to the Slaughter. I mean, we can look it up.
Yeah, I'll look it up while you say it.
But it's about like a housewife who, like, her husband comes in, and I think he's like angry or he wants a drink, and she's like fed up with him, and like she murders him with like a frozen leg of lamb, and like bashes his head in, and then immediately after that, like puts it to cook, like starts roasting it. So the cops come and they investigate the whole house, and they can't find the murder weapon, and it's like, oh, you know, I guess it's like a mystery. And then like at the end, like she feeds them dinner, like she's like, you want to stay for dinner, and then she feeds them like the murder weapon essentially.
That's a pretty good story. It's a little uncomfortable, you know, because the likeliness of someone actually wanted to do that. It's like that other story, somebody like stabs somebody with like a huge icicle, you know, and then the ice melts, you know.
I mean, what are you gonna get at the supermarket that's gonna like take somebody out like a leg of lamb, like a frozen leg of lamb?
Yeah, for real. I mean, I would imagine that in a scenario like that would probably be doable in a setting where like people hunt or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like rural.
Yeah,
like some deer or something.
And that rural, let me tell you, man, like, you know, even though this podcast is kind of like based in the setting is like South Florida, like you and I have spent more time like outside of South Florida, like with the cross country road trip that we did and all that, like that rural, like desolated like setting.
There's a lot of that.
There's a lot of it, man.
There's a whole lot of that.
Man, yeah, for sure, bro. Like, what do you have any favorite memories of, you know, you care to share for, you know, this episode of like our time in, you know, driving across the country?
Word. I'm really fond of driving into Tennessee from Georgia.
Yeah.
Tennessee's tight.
Yeah, Tennessee.
It's really
is
nice,
tight.
like Chattanooga. And then like the firework stands and like the fireworks are tight. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the Nashville chicken?
Hell yeah, bro.
So fire.
Yeah, we went to Hattie B's.
This is the thing, man. Like, your memory is so good. I have these like my memory for whatever reason is not that detailed, you know? Like, I'll remember vaguely, but like, you know what I'm saying? Your memory is so on point that sometimes I refer to you like, yo, what happened? And you'll be like, yeah, this happened. You know?
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. All right, no. Okay, so we drove. Okay, yeah, we left Atlanta early in the day.
Yeah.
And we got to Nashville like late afternoon, I want to say. So we had like a little bit of time before we made like a push to Missouri. So we're like, let's go to the hot chicken spot.
Yeah.
We go to the first one, and it's like right across the street from Vanderbilt. And it was like packed.
Right.
It was like really close to Vanderbilt. It wasn't right across the street.
Because that was the college town, right?
Yeah, it was like a couple blocks from Vandy. And it was like slammed. And we're like, oh, there's another one.
Right, because it was only two.
Yeah. And then you look on the phone, and it looks super far away. It's like, oh, it's like all the way over there.
I remember.
And then you like get on the road, and it's like, whoa, you're gonna pass it. Like it takes like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then that one was like much more doable.
It was so spicy, bro. It was so good.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Like the Nashville style chicken that they sell like at KFC.
Oh, it's garbage.
It's in comparison, it's nothing like it,
but
bro.
It doesn't even taste like it should.
Yeah.
It should taste like cayenne pepper and death.
And death.
And yeah, bro.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like when I was living in Vero Beach, like there was a KFC like right up the block, and the couple times that I went to that KFC, because there was a KFC and a Taco Bell right across the street, and the KFC I would go there and I would get the Nashville chicken, and I would get it because I was so fond of how it tasted in Nashville, you know. But like, you're the type of person that like you capitalize on these like American experiences in relation to the location that it's from. It's like, oh, we're in Nashville. Well, we gotta get Nashville, Tennessee chicken, you know? And like I appreciate that because I'm kind of not that type. I'm just like one of those. I guess maybe the time where I was at in my life, I wasn't really paying too much attention to these little cool moments, but you were. And because we did it, I'm happy for it, you know?
What else did we do?
Bro,
Really cool.
well, when we pulled into Missouri, because my sister lives there, like the
Yeah,
property
but it was at night. Yeah. Oh yeah.
the property they live on has that lake.
Right. Right. I
And
was
you
just
and
talking about the next day. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And like you and I like you wanted to fish cuz you fish.
Yeah.
You know, you're really heavy on fishing.
Right.
And
Very heavy.
and you know, whatever, man, like my sister's my sister's boyfriend, like I don't know if they're married now. I don't think they are. But like he let us get on this little rowboat.
Yeah, that canoe.
The canoe.
It was like it was like super.
It was super
crazy.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was
like,
sketchy.
all right, we had to walk there. It was like on a house, like on a separate. It was like on the same property ish, but like a little walk away.
Yeah, and then to get there, like the trail dipped, and it had just finished raining or something. So
Yeah,
you
it's
and
like
I
a
had
cool like river kind of thing going on, right?
yeah. So you and I had to walk through that, and like and they were like, "Yo, if you want to take off your shoes, go ahead." And I remember like you were just like, "Okay, let's tread lightly around this because you don't know what's in there," and I just didn't care, man. I just like mashed through it, you know. And then when we got on the boat, you were like, "All right, Art."
Yeah, bro. It was like this like raggedy canoe, bro. That's like it'd been in the sun for like 20 years, bro. And I don't think you'd ever been like on a canoe. I've never been on a canoe either.
The last time that I was on a boat, I was like 7 years old. Like a
Yeah.
little rowboat like that. Like, you know, this guy that my grandmother was with at the time, Barbino, like what's his name, and he took me fishing. I was a kid, you know. It's cool that he did that because I wasn't a part of his family, but I guess whatever, he wanted to take me out fishing and shit in the Everglades. But we're in Missouri, and like the thing is, do you remember when you and I started to pull out, like pull the boat towards the middle of this lake, and you were like, "All right, bro, we gotta consider the buoyancy here." You know, like you kind of sat with your like the heels, you know, the heels of your feet were like spread to kind
like
of
trying to pin them on those walls of the canoe.
or to like widen your stance, you know.
Yeah.
And same thing with me, but like I was more like what's the word I'm looking for, like
Unstable.
unstable. Thank you. You know, and then
Well, it's all on your hips. You know, you just gotta let the water like roll with, like you gotta disconnect your bottom half.
it's kind of like skateboarding in a way.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of like
I don't know how it would have gone if like neither, because I do like kayak fishing, and I don't think, like you said, like you hadn't been on a canoe before. I had never been on a canoe before. That could have turned out really terrible. That lake did not look fun.
No, it didn't. It
looked like what am I thinking of?
It looked like Silent Hill to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty much like a lake out of Silent Hill. And when you look over to the water from inside of the canoe and you look into it, it looked real murky.
Yeah, it had like a yoo-hoo kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, for real, like a yoo-hoo, exactly.
Filled with like algae and all kinds of weird stuff.
And I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, what are the chances that we're gonna see like one of these two things? One, like the spine of a very large fish, or two, like a very, very like hidden floating dead body down there. That was totally the vibe that I got. And the thing is that like when you're in the woods in the morning, there's a lot of fog, you know, totally Silent Hilly, you know.
Yeah.
And you're there like, yeah, I want to fish. And I'm like, all right, bro. So you start casting this rod, and I'm just looking at you like.
And that was like a whole other thing. It was like some like old beat up rod, like it was like left-handed. like the hook was like broken. It was like missing a hook.
It was missing a hook.
And bro, we did it, bro. We got on the canoe and we caught a fish.
You caught a fish, bro.
It was a team effort, bro.
Nah, okay, for sure.
Because you took the photo. If you hadn't taken that was another thing, like trying to pass you the phone on the canoe.
I remember this. Yeah, because like I had to lean forward, and that's the thing. Like when you're on a little boat, like any body movement totally affects the stability of the whole boat, you know. And like if you were on this little boat by yourself, it probably would have gone real fine. But since you're relying on me to be like on the same page as you, it's like all that much more like unpredictable, you know. But man, I'm really happy about that. And that's the thing, like where I was at in my life at that time, like I was super depressed. I didn't want to do none of these things. And you were like, nah, bro, let's do it. One, because you want to fish. And also I feel like it's because you know that it'll be good for me to experience this with you, you know. Like you're a good friend, man. You know, this is not one of these things that like I can say about if the tables were turned, I don't know how I would have reciprocated that same type of like effort, you know? So I appreciate that, man.
Word, bro.
What do we do after that? I said the thing is that like this.
We took off, bro. I passed out. I fell asleep because I drove into the Missouri, and then I was like done. I pulled that like all nighter.
Yeah, I remember.
And we went from like Nashville through Kentucky,
right,
into like a piece of Illinois,
right,
and then it goes down into Missouri,
right. Yeah, and then when you were passed out, like with me, I don't really have much of a vivid memory of like what was happening during my drive, because for one, I was already so used to it. I had driven that so many times already that like you had just woken up. I remember the next day you and I stayed in Morrison, Colorado.
That place was super tight.
Morrison, Colorado was so tight. You know, like for everyone that wants to like stay at an Airbnb and you think Denver, Colorado, like, nah, I got to stay in Denver. Like, don't be opposed to the idea of like looking a little bit outside of the city, because for one, the Airbnbs are like a lot less expensive and it's just awesome. Like you and I stayed in some big ass house that like the owners of that house, the guy is an author. And I don't know what the wife did, you know, but like
I think she did like computer stuff.
Yeah, so like to be able to live in this really big house in this again, rural setting, you know, like I let Morty run outside and there was like a deer like not even 100 yards away, and it's just, I mean, mind you, but you and I had already been used to that because you know, because of how it's like in California too, you know. Yeah, I remember that, man. I remember that I had a little toaster oven. I brought a toaster oven with me. It's so funny because during that time, like I wasn't really living anywhere. I was kind of like a nomad, you know, and like I have all my family here in Miami, but when you're kind of going through it, you feel like you're a burden to everyone. So you don't want to just like, hey, take me in. I was like, nah, man, let me figure it out. And I remember that toaster oven. I had a toaster oven and an extension cord. And I remember I got a sweet potato. And I kept that sweet potato for a while. And you and I stayed out at this rest stop. You know those gas stations that have like, it's like those big gas stations that have everything in it, you know? And I was like, look, man, I've been carrying this sweet potato for a while. I just want to cook my fucking sweet potato. And you're like, all right, bro, that's fine. Just do it. And you were like on your phone, and I opened the trunk of the Scion, and I had the sweet potato there. I mean, I had the toaster oven there connected to the extension cord to some outlet way the hell over there somewhere.
Yeah, it was like on a light pole or something.
Yeah. Yes, because those damn, your memory again, you know? Fuck, that's crazy, bro. Like, yeah, because there are some light poles that have a little power outlet right in the base of it. And I connected it to it. And I remember I was doing that just to kind of get a little sense of like something that feels like home, you know? I remember that. And so I waited for a while because apparently... like it takes a long time to cook a sweet potato in a toaster oven, and it just wasn't the business, bro.
It was like raining a little bit.
It was raining. You hear the crickets were like super loud, like
it was like right next to like a ditch.
Yeah,
so it was like hella mosquitoes.
Right, man, so crazy. Again,
I was
bro,
in Kentucky.
Like, see, this is the thing. Like, I don't know another friend that would have tolerated that, but you did, man. Like
you bought that sweet potato, I think in like Atlanta. Then you tried to cook it there in Kentucky, and then I think like the end of the road for that sweet potato was in Colorado.
Yeah, I remember that. And it's funny, I have some footage of that too. I have like a time lapse because in the Airbnb that you and I stayed in Morrison, Colorado, they didn't have a kitchen. Remember? They didn't have like a little kitchen for us to cook.
Yeah, I had like a little fireplace and like a little coffee maker, I think.
Right, and a little microwave, you know? And so that's when I was like, haha, I got a toaster oven, you know? And then we bought one of those little disposable aluminum trays, you know? And I don't know if you remember, I cooked like, I poured black beans into it and like something else.
No, we had chicken.
But there was black beans too.
Yeah, we bought beans and chicken.
Yeah. It was the chicken that they sell in supermarkets.
And we went to Walmart in like Aurora.
Yeah. Damn, crazy, dog. Your memory is so good.
Yeah, because we drive in, it's like a straight line. Kansas is super flat.
Yeah.
And it's just like a straight, it's like, what is it, like the 80 or something? And it's just like a straight line.
No, I think that's a 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
That like that middle one, and it's just like a straight line. And it goes like into Colorado. And then it's like a straight line, and it's flat until you get to Denver.
Yeah.
Which is like right in the center. And then everything from Denver west is like goes straight up into the mountains. Like
right. Yeah, because if you're driving westward from the East Coast, you're not going to see no mountains that are on the West Coast until you hit Colorado, for sure. Even when you cross the state line into Colorado, you don't see the mountains yet. They're still in the mist way over there, you know? And I remember, like, man, when you and I stayed in that spot, you and I went to Colorado and we went, to Denver, and we went into a dispensary.
I couldn't buy weed because, like, you know how like the old Florida, I haven't seen the new ones like up close, but like the old Florida licenses have like a seam, have like a like tiny line that runs just above like the magnetic strip.
Yeah.
And it's like a weak point, and if like you bend your license that way, like it'll like crack right along that seam.
Yeah.
And like, so I put like a piece of tape, like packing tape, like clear packing tape, like one layer on the opposite side to keep it from like flexing, and then trimmed it around. And then like the lady's like, oh, this is tampered with. And I'm like, it's my license. She's like, no, you tampered with it. And then that was it. Like, she was really rude. I was really salty about that because like,
yeah,
she was
you were
a bitch.
Yeah, I remember you got back in the car and you were like, I couldn't buy no fucking weed. And you were like really mad about.
Yeah, I was upset because that's fine. Like, oh, you tell me like, oh, you can't accept it because it's tampered with. You'd be like, look, sir, I'm really sorry, but like, by definition, having the tape on it, like, classifies as tampered with. So like, I can't, like, I'll get in trouble. Like, I just can't help you out right now. I'm really sorry about that. But she's like, no, you tampered with it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, she was just not cool about it, you know. So that's why I only got 1 gram.
Yeah, because you didn't want to spend your money in that spot.
Yeah, and like we weren't gonna go. Like, I was just like, let's just get it over with. We're gonna be in California in like 2 days.
Yeah, and I remember like I was totally like, I was like, all right, bro, that's you know, I know that you don't want to spend your money in here, but you know what, I'm going to. And I went to a dispensary and I spent a good amount of bread on a few different strains and all. Hey, Denver is expensive. Denver, they be taxing, bro. It was like I think it was like 10 or 11 or I think something like that taxes, you know. So you see the price tags, and then when they ring it up, you're like, damn, that's a good amount more. I remember that, you know. So whatever, like in that Airbnb that you and I stayed in, I remember how good it felt to finally roll up, you know.
Yeah.
Like after that long ass drive.
Yeah, because I mean, we had like a little bit, but we were trying to be really like conservative with it and kind of cautious with it as well. So, like having a place where we could actually like unwind, kick off our shoes, like,
and also like, you know, it's against the law to be smoking while you're driving, you know. Even though it's legal in Colorado, I know that you can still get pulled over and get a ticket or whatever if you know, if you had smoked in the car. So we were also like, you know, let me just kind of fall back a little bit on this. I remember that. Do you remember? I think it was in. I'm not sure what state it was in. If it was in Colorado, I know that it was after Morrison, Colorado, that like my tire started to give out. Remember? Yeah.
No, it was like going down that crazy steep hill.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to remember what the name of that town was.
It was a crazy. You know what it was? It was my brakes.
Yeah, it was the brakes.
Because when I would like to press the brake pedal, you felt
it would like rumble a little bit, right?
It'll rumble, and when you're going downhill on a wet highway, and the hill is like 3,000 feet, this slope, and you know, if you don't press your brake pedals, you're gonna increase in speed. You're gonna accelerate because of gravity. So then I would press the brakes just to kind of stay in control, but then the car would rumble, and then you're looking at me like, I really don't want to die. And I was like, word, man, me too, man.
Bro, yeah. That was some slope, bro.
Yeah, it
They
was.
had like all those ramps where like that are designed for like 18-wheelers when the brakes go out to like roll into, you know what I'm talking about? Like roll into this like slope.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so then we stopped at this like the very next exit, you know, and we stopped at some tire spot, and I remember like we had to wait for them to change the brakes and all that. Damn, it's crazy, bro. Like for a while, like when I was driving across the country a lot, I would just pick up and go. You know, the Scion XB is actually a really good car, man. It's funny that they don't make it no more. Toyota, they don't make Scions no more. And damn, it's funny you have that. I don't have that pipe anymore. You know, Kimber just showed me this picture on his phone. Look at that. Look, you have all these memories. You have the picture of the Nashville chicken with the pickle on it with a toothpick. And you showed me this picture of like this glass pipe that Maya gave me. Maya from the Smoking Caterpillar, like she gave me this cool ass pipe. And you know, I had it for a while, but when I finally got arrested, like they confiscated that. I never saw it again.
Shout out to the Caterpillar, bro.
Yeah, bro. I
So
love the
you're on
Caterpillar.
the 101, you know, heading up or down, like.
You know, it's funny, man. Like these little small towns, like they're really the small towns are the best ones to have good memories in. If you're from a big city and you want to do some traveling and you pull into some random small town or a small town that like you have some family or some friends in, you'd be surprised how many good memories you can walk away from there with, you know? And the Smoking Caterpillar in Garberville is definitely one of the spots that like we would kick it at so many times, man. Like they'll let us back in the alley back there just to kind of smoke some bowls or whatever. And it was just a great time, bro. I remember that, man. I would like be back there with my dog and like throw a ball into like the bushes behind the building, and he'll go and get it and come back with it. It's just awesome, bro. You know, I'm happy that I can hold on to these memories even more so with you here, because you're like an elephant with it, bro. You know, but I mean, yeah, man. So I was kind of hoping that we can get a little bit into like when you taught me how to skateboard. You know, do you recall? As well, since you recall so many other things.
What was it really?
So like I remember when you were teaching me how to skateboard.
Because I know like I think I remember where this kind of started. Like I've skated since middle school.
Yeah.
And I love skateboarding. Like I'm like culture wise, like I'm pretty up to date even to this day. Like about like the teams, you know, the skaters, like what's popping off, skater of the year, all that stuff. Like, and I suck in the general, like in the greater perspective of skateboarding. Like I suck, but like you know, you love it, and then it's like, you know, you skate when it's like not cool, and it's like, you know, you skate when it's cool. Like it doesn't matter. Like you skate forever. So, like, I'll have like phases, kind of, like. Depending on like lately I've been playing a lot of soccer, and like I've gotten a couple injuries. Like I had an MCL sprain, I sprained my ankle, and like just getting over those, and like that kind of slows down. Like, oh yeah, let's go skateboard this weekend or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you'll hit me like, hey man, let's skate. Because remember like, because you already set up the skateboard that I got you, right?
Yeah,
that's already set up. Yeah. So like. You'll be like, yo, man, let's skate again, bro. Let's skate. And then, hey, man, you know, like this thing happened to my ankle.
Yeah, I'm like, my knee's good. And I'm like, bro, my knee's feeling great. Let's skateboard Monday or whatever. And then it's like Friday night. I'm like, bro, I sprained my ankle out yesterday. It's like purple and shit.
Yeah, and then you'll be like, man, I need like 3 weeks. 3 weeks goes by. And I'm like, yo, you ready? You're like, yeah, for sure. Then you go play soccer and you injured yourself again. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. Get it together, Kimber.
Yeah, right now we're doing good. Right now, feeling good. Not jinx it.
And also, it's been raining a lot in Miami, so like all this rain makes it nearly impossible to skate anyway. Because I'm not trying to get the water like to like wet the wood, and just the wood absorbs the moisture and it just ruins it, you know.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, bro. You know,
But-
like,
Yeah, like around the time we met, like just right out of high school, like working at Blockbuster, I don't know, like caught the bug, bit me again, and like I started going to all these demos at MIA Skate Park in Doral, and like we were homies, and I think the little by little, like you started like getting into it.
do you remember when I first learned how to skate? That like it was so new to me that once I learned how to actually cruise without a problem, I cranked out like 5 or 6 ollies. Do you remember that night?
No,
Man, it was an ollie like in motion. It's not stationary.
you remember
ollies.
where this was?
It was, I don't know, I can't remember, bro.
Okay.
But like you were like, damn, bro, that's it, you got it. And I was like, word, I did it. And I did like 3 or 4 more ollies in motion. And I thought about it too much. And now I have a hard time doing an ollie. And since then, I've never really been able to fully execute a good ollie in motion. I could do it stationary, but like not in motion. I don't know why. I overthink it now, you know? It's crazy. Like you can ollie from the street to a sidewalk. Do you remember when you and I were in LA and we were skating and it's like LA was much more slopier than we thought?
Yeah,
It was like people think like the skaters in LA, like you think, oh, you see these movies, you know, like where like people are in LA and they're skating and it's awesome. But when you and I were there, like we went to what's that district that you met that pro skater at?
is it Fairfax?
Fairfax. That yeah, for sure.
We're like, well, I think that's what it's called. Like we're Supremas and
Right.
Flight Club.
Like to our surprise, bro, like LA is much more slopier than we thought, man. You know?
Well, it's like all hills and stuff. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. You know?
like we were like boots on the ground when we were in LA. Like we had our boards and like that's how we got around.
Yeah, exactly. Cause you and I took the Amtrak from
A couple Amtraks.
from
That was like a journey,
from
like an
Humboldt
all-day
County.
journey.
Right. It picked us up in Garberville. It dropped us off in some town still in the Bay Area, and then we went,
Martinez.
yeah, damn dog, your memory is so good. It's so crazy.
Either Martinez or like Emeryville.
I'm about to have you on this podcast like once a week just so I can refresh my memory while you tell it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, dog. We got dropped off in Martinez. That Amtrak was a bus. And then we got on the train. And then while we were on the train, the Amtrak train from Martinez to LA, they were selling Lagunita IPAs on there.
Yeah,
The big
ones.
bottles. The big bottles. And then I was actually surprised because the price of those Lagunitas was like regular price. They weren't trying to tax you because you're on some Amtrak, you know?
Yeah.
And I walked back, I'm like, yo, these cost the same. And you're like, word, that's tight. And it felt so good being like sitting there, you know?
Yeah, because like, well, the bus ride wasn't too bad. It's like a 5 or 6 hour bus ride down.
The guy that was sitting next to me at the Amtrak was this like black dude, and he was like tall, but he was like one of those like almost trying to see how much of my space he can take up, and I had to check him, like, you know, because just the chairs, you know, I'm a big dude, you know, so I'm sitting there, there's like barely any elbow space and knee space, and this guy is sitting next to me. I'm on the window, so he's like between me and the aisle, and like he's like laying back all lazily, and his left leg is like all cramped into my spot, and I'm there like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, move your leg, bro. And he like, instead of being like, yo, my bad, he was like, whatever, you know, all bitter about it. So like my ride to Martinez was a little awkward because I had this like stranger that's like super rude sitting next to me, you know.
I feel like I don't remember the bus ride down. I just know it was like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't the worst.
Yeah,
The train wasn't too bad.
I remember how sad it was leaving Humboldt County that first time.
Yeah.
You know, like riding down
Like-
the Avenue of the Giants.
Like we had such a good time, and it was like such a magical place that like, and we were like, at that point we didn't know if we were gonna come back ever again.
Right. And I had that big luggage with all my CDs. I went there planning to blow up. For some reason, I went there thinking I'm gonna get discovered and have all this merch. I have all these CDs, all these beanies, all these stickers, just crammed into one of those big ass luggages with the wheels on it, you know? That the guy that like unloaded the luggage, when he picked up mine, like everyone else's luggage was like not that heavy. Mine was so crammed with all this stuff that he's like, damn. Remember? I don't know if you remember that. It was just
No,
like this.
I don't remember that, but I remember on like when we were flying back to Fort Lauderdale. I forgot what we flew, like United or something.
Yeah.
and like we're making the line, and it's like where they measure your carry on to make sure it could go through.
Yeah.
And bro, you're like, nah, bro, I ain't gonna pay for this shit. And you just like
Somehow.
shoved your fucking carry on into like the thing that like it's like it must be this size, and you like totally bent it out of shape, and you like smashed it in there, and then like the guy's like, you know what, bro, just go, bro.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember I had some cans of beer in there, and I was like giving some away just to make some more room, you know? Yeah, I remember that, man. I like ever
And then
since.
at the end, like we got to playing, and then like they made you check it in anyway, but like they was for free, like they didn't charge you that.
Yeah, funny, bro. You know, man, like until you brought that up right now, I hadn't thought about that since that day, you know?
I was just like, I mean, looking back on it now, I should just like kept walking, but I was just like, I think we were just like stoned or something, but I was like mortified, like watching you like shove, like destroy this like measuring thing. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, man.
this guy, bro.
Through trial and error, man, I definitely learned the hard way a lot of life lessons.
Persistence pays off, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You made it fit.
Yeah, man. And then now I travel light, you know? I had all these expectations where I was like, now, man, like I've learned to be minimal, you know? I'm not saying since then, like that was one of the times that I didn't learn my lesson about just learning to not travel with so much. Whereas with you, like you have one carry-on and it's barely filled with anything. But while you're wherever we are, you buy souvenirs and then that bag fills up, you know?
True.
Yeah, it's like the opposite, you know? But yeah, man, like you and I got down to LA. We got picked up by Q, you know? Shout out to Q.
For real, bro.
You know, shout out to Q, man.
We came through, bro. Picked us up from the bus. No, because we had to, the train took us to Bakersfield, and then we took a bus from Bakersfield to LA.
Right.
That bus ride, I was like super cramped up in the back.
Yeah.
I just remember like we were sitting next to each other. I was like this, like with my legs squeezed up, like one of them like in the aisle, like how, like.
Yeah, bro. Nah, and I remember that you and I when we were in LA, and the whole time I was so like starstruck by just the city of LA, and I thought I was so cool with my little stash of trees that the homies in Humboldt County gave us, you know, to be generous, just so that almost as if like we're representing how generous Humboldt was, you know. And Q picked us up and dropped us off at the hotel, and I really wanted to kick it with Q and just kind of like kick back a little bit, and like we went to his apartment to smoke him out, remember? And like you and I were still like green behind the ears of what that Cali lifestyle was like. Like to us, weed was still like this taboo, right? But then in LA, it's normal.
Kind of. It was still kind of like much more like you're trying to be much more safe about it in LA. I remember like we went to like buy 40s and we had to put them in the trunk. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
We like when we were heading to the Motor Inn that we stayed at.
That's the name of the hotel.
It was called like the 777.
I remember
Motor
that.
Inn or something.
Wow.
Like right next to the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Damn.
And there was like a liquor store.
Right.
On what is it, like Ventura or something?
I remember the liquor store was like big too. It was like the whole building itself was just a liquor store.
I don't know if it's Ventura or Van Nuys. I think it's Ventura.
Yeah.
And like there was like a liquor store, and we bought 40s, and they're like, oh no, put them in the trunk because just to be safe. Like, what are we gonna get like pulled over? Like,
right.
I don't know. They were like extra cautious about that kind of thing.
Right. And I remember when you and I were in Q's apartment, right? And like I felt so proud just being generous with the weed, sparking everybody up. But it didn't occur to me that you and I are guests in his apartment and we're hotboxing his place. And he was roommates with Izquierdo at the time, you know, because they worked together on music. And he was just trying to watch, I think it was Breaking Bad, if I recall correctly. That's one thing that I appreciate about Izquierdo. Like, we're Q's homies, but he's roommates with Izquierdo, and he was just kind of being a good host, letting us kick it and do our own thing, and him not being bothered by all the smoke, you know? And then, like, you and I had, like, also been gifted, like, some water hash, you get me? And, like, we left it on the table, like, yo, bro, here, have this. It looked like a brownie, you know, this big rock of this bubble hash. And when we left, I forgot how how it all ended, but when we came back to Q's spot, their dog was like barking at me like crazy, and I was like, "What happened? It was fine the first time." And he's like, "Nah, bro, he ate that hash. Remember?"
That's irresponsible.
It's like, what the fuck? And this dog ate this huge thing of hash. And I'm like, no fucking way. On one side of the coin, I was like scared for the dog. But on the other side, I'm like, that was for you, not for the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, put that somewhere safe.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man, nah, hash is no joke. But yo, shout out to Q, man. Shout out to Q
Yeah,
and to
for real,
Scardo. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, bro, like,
You
it's
know,
just,
yeah, like I know what you mean. Like we were kind of like we totally hotboxed the shit out of their place.
yeah.
And in hindsight, that might have been a little like overboard.
Right.
You know, us like, kind of taking advantage of their hospitality.
Yeah, like being too comfortable too quick.
But the thing
sure.
is, like, part of it was we had spent like 4 weeks in the woods.
Yeah. Right.
Like
Or
going to the bathroom in like an outhouse.
right.
Like running power off a generator
Right.
when it ran.
Do you remember?
And we were allowed to run it.
You remember like you and I came out with that little reggae song for the Jenny, gas for the Jenny.
That's gonna come out one day. Watch. I'm gonna make it for real.
We need electricity to live life like in the city. We need gas for the Jenny.
Bro.
Oh man, but it's true. You and I got so used to that,
like having been in the woods for so long, we were like, when we were someplace with like lights and electricity, and there was like a TV on, and we were just like, we needed to like unwind, like we really needed to like de-stress and like just kind of like
It's funny because like that
recondition ourselves.
Like Biggie said, never get high on your own supply. But like the irony is that when you're up in the woods there, when you're up on the hill, like part of what makes it bearable being up there is that you're around so much of this. You have all this weed, that it's like, yo, let's just smoke it to not make being here so crazy,
Yeah, it's like, like wake up. Let me crack open a can of yerba mate.
Right.
Roll up a spliff.
Right.
And then you're like, everybody else starts waking up. Things start moving. So it's like everybody's still waking up. Let me roll a spliff and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, bro, for
and you
sure.
get back and it's like everybody's starting to wake up again. So everybody's awake now. And it's like, oh shit, everybody's awake now. Let's roll a spliff.
Right. Do you remember the cowtail?
Yeah, bro. That's some like...
The cowtail. All right, so let me explain what a cowtail is. So like when you're making bubble hash,
well, it's
right?
First off, it's like a candy. It's like a soft, chewy candy.
No, I'm talking about the
right, but
the type
we gotta like that's where it comes from. So it's like cowtail is like the candy, and we call this a cowtail because of the candy.
Yeah, because it's similar to it. So basically, when you're making bubble hash, right? Like you take okay, I'm not going to explain how to make bubble hash. You need to figure that out on your own. But like when you make the bubble hash and it comes out and it's ready to dry, you lay it on that parchment paper and it gets that layer. When it dries, it kind of becomes like a leather, It's like leathery because it's not too thick, but it's like spread thin enough where like you can kind of bend it and it stays stuck together, like a taffy.
Yep.
So we cut a rectangle off that's the same size of kind of like, not a dollar bill, but kind of like a debit card. It was that length by width.
Yeah, it's like flattened out, like almost like a little fruit roll up of hash.
Right. So we took that. Well, not we. The homies that we were with took that.
The homie.
Allegedly, and then
the legend.
Yeah, for sure. And then we packed that with the weed and then roll that in the paper. You feel me? And then it's like. That thing never ended. It got passed around 300 times. It didn't even get like halfway.
Yeah, I think it would go on and on like for several days. I think.
So you're smoking. It almost looks like.
It looked exactly like the cowtail, like the candy. That's why we.
Yeah.
It's just like taffy on the outside, pretty much, and then like the core. It's just trees, it's flour.
And to my surprise, like it wasn't even double rolled with 2 layers of paper. It was 1 layer of paper, the rice paper, and inside of it was the the bubble hash and then the weed, and it never got clogged up. It just burned like a champ, bro. You know. So damn, that's crazy, and it's true. Like you and I got accustomed to that much smoking. That how common it was. That when you and I went to L.A., we almost didn't adjust at all. You know,
Yeah, like in our heads, we were like, yeah, bro. Oh, I just rolled this giant king size fucking like Jamaican looking spliff.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
because
oh, you just smoked it? All right, let me time to roll another one. Like,
right, that's how we
people
were.
were like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Like the papers that we have, like it was like a roll that you put.
Oh my god, yeah, like a roll of toilet paper.
A roll of toilet paper that where the length of the paper
Oh,
is
dude.
as long as you want, and we packed it like it was nothing. Like what was wrong with us? No, what's wrong with the world, man?
Yeah, bro. What's wrong with them, bro? Shit.
Word, bro. And you and I went to go play laser tag in L.A.
That was awesome.
You and I played laser tag in L.A. and we were against a bunch of kids and their chaperones
And their parent. No, there was like a whole team of parents, like
And
a whole team of kids.
and they all had the same color shirts, like a field trip. You
Dude,
know?
it was funny.
And
it was
you-
funny. And for anybody that remembers where Playthings is now, shout out to Rev. It was Ultrazone
Damn.
on Bird Road. Like that was the building.
Wow.
And it was like an Ultrazone that we played at in Sherman Oaks. So I was like very nostalgic.
Yeah, bro. Like, and you got first place.
I got first place. I destroyed everybody.
You shot them kids up, bro.
I shot everybody up.
I remember.
I was ruthless. And that happens when I play paintball too. I'm the same.
Yo, those
Because
kids.
I run in front. Everybody, when we play paintball, everybody like stays back and like hides behind the wall and like peeks their head out to see if anybody. As soon as we start, I just run to the other side and shoot everybody.
Nah, don't give away your strategy, bro, because now people are gonna try to catch you slipping. Yeah, I remember those kids were so disappointed. They were like, this is like,
Oh yeah, like at the end of the game, like everybody was outside looking at the TV monitor, like and they're like kids, like they were all like cheering like for themselves, and then like the scores came out and it's like my team won,
yeah.
and I was in first place. I'm like, that's right.
Yeah, I remember, man. Hey, our time in LA was tight, bro. I remember you and I made it a point to eat at Carl's Jr. or what's the other restaurant that's like owned by the same people, same logo, everything, but it's not Carl's Jr.
That is Carl's Jr.
Hardee's.
Yeah, well, we have Hardee's here.
Hardee's is on the East Coast. That's right. It was
Yeah, I
Carl's
saw a
Jr.
video about that. It was very interesting about how
Yeah, I saw that too.
they expanded.
How they bought another company out instead of trying to rebrand it, they kept the same name but switched the branding up.
Shout out to that California Classic, bro.
Yeah, the California Classic.
I was talking to Melly about this yesterday. It's like I've never gotten one and not had it like disintegrate in my hands.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible.
Yeah, I remember like when I first pulled up to California, like after our trip there, when I left Miami with my ex and with Nixon, like I was playing host. I was like, all right, guys, now we're gonna do this. I was kind of trying to give them. I was trying to relive the same first experience for them so that they can feel the joy that I felt, you know. And I remember on the way up to Humboldt County, because we pulled up and went straight to Venice Beach, where that mural of Jim Morrison is, you know. And when we left, heading north to Humboldt County, on one of the highway exits of the 101 was, you know how they have the fast food signs, you know, like on the exit it said Carl's Jr. and we pulled off and like I put him onto it, and I remember like in the background of this Carl's Jr. was just this endless like mountain range, you know, because the altitude is high. When you're on that 101 and you leave LA, like when you're heading north, the highway is ascending, and the altitude is like in the hundreds, getting to the thousands. I remember one time there was a street sign on the highway that said altitude of 3,000 feet. You know, because they have these markers where like they rounded off to that round number 3000, 3,000 feet, and I was like, damn, we're 3,000 feet up in the air, bro. That's crazy. My ears popped, you know. So we pull off into this plaza, and then there's the Carl's Jr. And I remember like I had to go to the car after they were sitting there eating, and I was like, I'll be right back. So I go to the car, and when I turn around and I see this Carl's Jr., and it's just crazy because behind the building of the Carl's Jr. is the highway. You see cars driving, and behind that, it's like it almost looks like something out of like a movie. I'm trying to think of this movie, Avatar. You know how it has those crazy ass like mountain ranges?
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a pterodactyl back there, you know? And I'm here thinking to myself, like, yo, California is insane, you know? Considering that we're from Miami where it's flat, you know? It's flat, flat, flat. And California is literally the opposite. And the line from Red Hot Chili Peppers would pop up into my head from Californication when they're like, the edge of Western civilization. You know, and you think about how Western civilization really impacted the whole world. And we're at the edge of it. You know? It's crazy, dog.
Word. Man, one of those moments, like, when we were, like, when we drove into Cali, because we spent a week driving from here to there. And when we drove from Reno into California, like, all the really pretty stuff that you see, like, Colorado, you see the red rocks. In Utah, you see the crazy, like, rock formations and mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's almost like purple.
Yeah.
You know?
And Reno is, like, deserty. There's, like, colors, certain colors you see in those places. And then you drive into California.
Right.
From Reno, and it's, like, you see all that stuff, like, in one, like, scenery. Like, all of it's, like, blended. Like, all the best little bits, like, the prettiest stuff, like, the red rocks and, like, these trees and, like, these types of bushes. And it's, like, you see it all, like, when you pull in. And I was, like, super tight.
Yeah, man, California is special, bro. I love it. It's unfortunate that it's so dry, you know, like here we have rainstorms. Over there they have fires, you know? So it's a little unfortunate that that's like the bad side to like California, like how it's so dry that people be just like
everywhere has like you go up north, you get like crazy blizzards. You like Midwest has like tornadoes. There's like earthquakes,
right
out west, wildfires, and like we have hurricanes, but honestly, like a hurricane, you can see that thing coming from like a long, you know, like like days and days and days away, and you like prepare for it. Like,
right.
Fire, like that thing starts up, and it's like, dude, you need to move if you're like in the way.
Yeah, bro, it's tough, man. Like people take for granted. That's the thing that I kind of feel like, not for nothing, man, but like when it comes to weed culture, like the consumers of it, the people that just buy it and smoke it, like they aren't even aware.
Yeah, what goes into it? What
goes into the growing of the weed, bro, and the risks that people take just so that they could enjoy this whole thing. Like people don't even take into account how crazy that game is, you know. So it's like, man, like shout out to California, bro. You know,
shout out to the Emerald Triangle for sure.
The Emerald Triangle for sure, bro. Yeah, man. Like, well, we've been talking for more than an hour. This is the thing. Like, you're like my, you know, you're my brother, bro, and you and I have been through a lot. I wasn't about to like just be concise about all of our crazy ass adventures on one episode, you know?
Yeah, no, there's no way.
There's no way. Even if we tried, hell nah. And even us going down memory lane today, a bunch of stuff was left out on the stories that we went through.
Yeah, we did pick out some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, mostly you, because your memory is so good. I'm here like, oh yeah, and then this happened too. You know, that's crazy, bro. But I mean, would you mind? Let me ask you something, man. Would you mind like telling the people that aren't listening like a little bit of kind of what you have going on, so that they can, if they're interested, they can get in the loop of it as well?
I do nothing. Don't follow me because I'm not gonna add you. No, I'm just kidding. What you should do is check out Ladies Love Radio, just spelled like that, at Ladies Love Radio on Instagram. That is like our official show page, where we do, like I said, you've been on our show. It's basically like it's on Jolt Radio. You could get the Jolt Radio app or stream it live, which is like pretty easy. Like we always put the link up, but basically it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a music based, I guess. Like music is essentially like the basis of the show, but it's really just for anybody and everybody. Like, we have all kinds of artists come on, people that DJ, people that produce music. We have had people that sing.
Yeah, if I were to describe what the format of your radio show is, which is why I like it a lot, is that imagine like you invite some homies over and there's music playing, and then it's like y'all will turn the music down so y'all can talk about stuff, and then like you turn the music back up and everyone just chills and enjoys the music, and that happens over and over. You know, it's a great balance of just cool ass music and just very casual dialogue between y'all and the guests you have. It's very cool.
We'll have like you came on, like we have other rappers, we have entrepreneurs, people that do like that also do blogs or other stuff, putting on other artists.
And that's the thing, man. All y'all local musicians out there that don't feel like y'all get any radio play from like college radio or from like the other larger radio stations yet, because maybe for whatever reason they're not rocking with you at the moment. Like, reach out to Jolt Radio, man. Like, I know that y'all be supporting the locals for real. Like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. We always have people either from here or like working here, setting up doing their business here. Like, well, the other day we had somebody that did. She's like a fitness and health guru, you know.
Tight. So
like the music varies by person. So it's like it's either if you're a producer, a DJ, or a rapper, or whatever. Like you'll play your music. We'll have DJs do live sets, like live vinyl sets and stuff like that. If it's somebody else, we'll have them pick their music they're into, and then we'll talk about that. So it's like it's really just like it really varies. It really, the format kind of varies, but for the most part, it's like you're gonna hear fun interview, you're gonna hear cool music.
I remember when I was on there, man. Like, y'all invited me on there, and that was not even 2 weeks before I had to leave to turn myself in. And I remember when I was there talking with Tress and y'all and you and Hyro, like, I remember how for that little moment when y'all played some of my music, I even remember I was mad nervous talking on the mic because I had so much on my mind. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to keep it all cool, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go through some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And like, y'all played my songs, and like it was definitely like a morale raiser being there, you know? So like, and that's why I was so happy seeing the Jolt Radio shirt at Publix. I'm like, hey, Jolt Radio. And the guy's looking at me like, gay? You know? Like, so, but yeah, man, that's what's up, bro. Kimber, man, come back again so we can talk some more, bro. I mean,
yeah, man, it's definitely, it got a little squirrely on the drive here, so risk my life to be on your podcast, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at least it isn't like a 3,000-foot slope in the middle of. I'm not trying to make you feel a little less bad about it, but thanks for coming through anyway,
my
bro.
brakes work.
Yeah, good. Good, man. Maintenance, that's where it's at. All right, guys. So, man, I wanted to plug my project, bro. If y'all haven't heard my project, Transit City, it's on all streaming platforms. I haven't done any music videos for this project. I don't know if I will or if I won't, but I know that there's a documentary on it. If you're into, like, documentaries where the artist kind of like breaks down the music and then treats you to some cool little visuals, check it out, man. The Transit City documentary is on YouTube. This is another episode of the Media Noche podcast. Don't follow Kimber on social media,
but do follow Ladies Love Radio on Instagram.
Yeah, there you go. You know, that's definitely more appropriate. And on that note, we out of here, guys. All right, y'all. Peace.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.